What does number 21 say? Perfection is the enemy of the good, which is why so many people don't start and why they give up, and why so many actually move so slowly. See this all the time. People say, well, I want to get into property. You say, fine, great. You tell them what you know. You give them that pep talk. You send them out to meet people. 6 months later, they're still stuck in their spreadsheet, analysing stuff. It's hard, isn't it? Because particularly when we start, we want to do the very, very best deal we can, don't we? Particularly if we've got limited resources, particularly limited money. We don't want to waste our money chucking it after something which isn't the best possible deal. Do we all agree? But the difficulty with that thinking is, are we likely to do the very, very best deal possible when we do our first deal? What do you think? Probably not. Probably not. So it's a balance, isn't it? There's a case for actually saying, okay, it's not going to be perfect, and good enough is good enough. I need to do something. Now, for those of you who know me, you've probably heard me say that the very first deal I did was probably one of the worst deals that you could ever do. But the thing is, it actually got me started. And once I got started, I could then kind of like work it back and tweak it again. I learned so much doing my first deal that I was able to take that forward. Now, as it was, this awful deal, I won't go into all the details because otherwise it'll take up the whole session. But in the end, it was such a bad deal that it got knocked down by the local authority. They compulsory purchased it and they knocked it down. And it's now just a piece of grass in Newcastle with a little blue plaque on it saying Peter Jones's first investment property was here. And it's true. No, that's not true, but that is true about it being a piece of grass. But the reality is, although it was a terrible, terrible deal on the face of it, I still actually sold it at a profit a few years later. I learnt an awful lot from it, and it helped me actually get started. And I think the main thing, the benefit was, it got me started. Because once you get started, you can do stuff. But if you're always waiting to get started, guess what's going to happen? Not a lot, and you'll wish 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line that you'd actually got started. Now, I'm not saying that you go out deliberately to make a mistake and you go out deliberately to do a poor deal. Obviously not. You try and do the best deal you can. But you accept that you're doing the best deal you can and you're not doing the perfect deal. I hope you found this video useful and informative, and if you did, then please come over to my website www.thepropertyteacher.co.uk, where you'll find loads more great property related resources, including free special reports to download and my best-selling series of ebooks, which includes the Successful Property Renovators Workshop, 63 common defects in investment property and how to spot them. And if you're just starting out in property, or if you want to grow your portfolio, you may be particularly interested in the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop, in which I'll take you through exactly how I started and built my property portfolio, starting literally with none of my own money, and how I built a portfolio of £2 million worth of property in just 4 years. And that was starting from scratch. I'll take you through everything that I did right so that you can copy me and do the same. And I'll also show you everything that I did wrong so that you can avoid the mistakes that I made and so that you can progress in property and be far more successful far more quickly than I ever was. And this is based upon my own real life experience, and it took me about 4 years to actually work out how to do property investing properly. But in the 200 pages in the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop, I'm going to show you all of that 4 years knowledge condensed down so that you can use it immediately. And until next time, here's to successful property investing.